The first piece I wanted to bring up is Sean McDermott. Couple plays this game, changing the pre to post snap picture on an offense, in this case, Jimmy G and the Raiders. This is something Leslie Frazier did at times. I'm going to drop the banner on the bottom so we can fully see everything. I love this comment here from Chris. Chris says, Dalton Kincaid to the freaking moon. Absolutely. We're going to talk about him shortly. But I wanted to start here with the tape here on Sean McDermott changing the pre to post snap picture on offenses and on the Raiders. This is the thing that I really wanted to see from the Bills defense more coming into this year, whether, and it can be in a variety of things, showing one coverage and dropping to another, showing guys at the line of scrimmage and you're not really blitzing. It could be a simulated pressure. It could be a creeper. It could be showing a 7-man pressure and actually only rushing your traditional 4 or only rushing 3, or showing a 2-high safety look pre-snap and spinning down to single high post-snap, or vice versa. Anything to change the pre to post-snap picture is what I wanted to see more from this Bills defense. And we saw it for a couple reps in this game. I'm going to show 2 of them. One worked, one didn't, but I like the thought process behind it. So let us dive into the play here. So first play, 3rd and 5 for the Las Vegas Raiders. Oh, I was doing so good. I didn't say Oakland the whole time. It's so tough for me. I still call the Commanders by their old name. I still call the Vegas Raiders Oakland. I call the Chargers San Diego. Oh, frustrating. Okay, so Vegas comes in motion. And if you're looking at the alignment from the Buffalo Bills, so got Micah Hyde here. We've got Trey White here. You've got Christian Benford here. Taron Johnson, Pete up here on the running back. And then if you're looking at the tight end from a Raiders perspective, maybe Floyd's going to drop on him. Maybe Milano's going to drop out because he's not really showing pressure. What you have here is a pressure look from the Buffalo Bills and what looks like paired with man coverage. Now I'm going to go slow on the snap. Watch what happens. So again, let's go back. Watch Taron Johnson right here. Terrell Bernard, Matt Milano. Sorry, I've circled over all of them. Boom. Actually, no, forget that because you can still see it. So, Taron Johnson, boom. Terrell Bernard, boom. Matt Milano, boom. Bernard and Milano are mugged up in your A-gaps. You've got Taron Johnson to the inside of AJ Epinesa at the top there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're showing a 7-man pressure, and then you've got 4 on the back end. It looks like man coverage. It looks like single high on the back end. Okay, maybe it's a cover 1 blitz, some kind of man coverage on the back end. You got a 7-man pressure. Maybe 5 are coming, maybe 6. Maybe it's all 7. Let's see what happens. Drop out? Nope. Just a regular 4-man pressure. And the Bills are playing cover 3 underneath it. Nice, right? And then as the play goes forward, Jimmy G spins out. AJ Epinesa gets the deflection, right? Now, let's go to the end zone angle. So you got 1, you got 2, you got 3, you got 4, 5, 6, 7. 7-man pressure, right? You've only got 5 offensive linemen. So what do the Raiders do? They keep in a tight end. They keep in a running back. Why? Because they think it's going to be a 7-man pressure. But on the snap, like we talked about, the Bills drop out. So the Bills are only rushing 4. The Raiders have kept in 7 to protect the 5 offensive linemen plus the tight end plus the running back who's over here. So you've got 7 protecting. Jimmy Garoppolo makes 8. 8 players in the backfield versus only 3 in the route distribution. Receiver here and 2 receivers here. That is 3 receivers out in the route distribution versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. For those of you playing at home, if I already said the Bills rush 4, 11 minus 4 is 7. Bills have the heavy coverage number advantage here. And it happens because the Raiders kept 2 potential route distribution candidates in their running back and their tight end. They kept them in the backfield to protect. So not only have you confused Jimmy G on this play, because look at, he turns, he wants to fire it right here, but Milano IDs him and jumps underneath here. And then Hyde's got eyes. White has eyes. Jimmy G doesn't feel comfortable throwing that ball. So he holds on to it. Ed does a great job, gets pressure. Jimmy G has to spin out. He's not the most mobile guy. Bills get into a good situation. So not only did you confuse the quarterback and change the pre to post snap picture, and you made him hold on to the ball, And you made him hold on to the ball to the point that it helped your front four get home. Not only did you do all of that, but you also tricked the Raiders into keeping more men into the backfield to protect than they needed to. They didn't need to keep 7 in here. They could have just done it with 5 or even 6 if they wanted to use their running back or their tight end to chip or help out. But they did not need to keep in all 7. So you dropped 7 into coverage, but your look up front forced them to keep in the running back and the tight end, which means only 3 guys got into the route distribution. You have 7 in coverage versus 3 in the route distribution. That is a huge advantage for the defense, especially on 3rd and 5. And I also like the call too. They drop into cover 3, and you see Micah Hyde jams underneath. He's right here on Mr. Devontae Adams. Watch him get a piece, try and reroute a little bit. Then he drops back, plays underneath. You got Milano playing the sticks. He understands. You've got Taryn over here playing the sticks. 3rd and 5. It's a smart call in a good situation. So just that little piece. So first stock up is Sean McDermott changing the pre to post snap picture and it working big time in a high leverage situation on a 3rd down. Jimmy G gets confused. Bills get pressure with 4. You get a batted ball. 4th down. Raiders have to punt. So again, you confused the quarterback because you changed the pre to post snap picture. You made him think one thing and it ended up being another. And you caused the Raiders to waste, quote unquote, 2 potential players that could have gone out into the route distribution. You made the Raiders waste them by keeping them in the backfield when they did not need to be in the backfield because they did not need to protect because you weren't actually going to bring 7. Now, another play with that. This play is in a similar mold, but it doesn't work this time. We're going to go through and next play here. Okay, here we go. Got it queued up. So again, similar, not the exact same, but a similar idea here, but they start to drop out late. So you've got Terrell Bernard here. You've got Matt Milano here. You've got that similar kind of mugged up A-gap look from the linebacker. Jordan Poyer has walked down here. Maybe he's blitzing. But at the end of the day, similar idea with what does it look like? So we've got a crowded line of scrimmage in a pressure look, similar to what we had on the last play. And then for those of you playing at home, what does it look like from a coverage perspective? Man coverage, man coverage, man coverage. That's what it looks like. And then you've got Micah Hyde on the back end who is playing that single high type of safety and that type of piece right there, right? So that's what it looks like for the Raiders. You're sitting there, okay, pressure look, man coverage on the back end. Let's see what happens. As the play goes on, as we get closer to the snap, you'll watch Taron Johnson. He starts to slowly drop out. I'm going to go into slow motion. Trey White starts to drop out. Terrell Bernard starts to drop out into the middle. Again, this is all happening as we're getting closer to the snap. And they drop out. Matt Milano drops out from the line. And again, you have a 4-man rush. And what you end up having is a 2 invert or a Tampa 2 robber type coverage. Called that for what we're going to see here. Okay, I'm going to stop it here. So you got Taron Johnson as a deep half player. You've got Trey White as a deep half player. This is also kind of what I liked with it. So not only are you changing the pre to post snap picture, but you're also flipping who is responsible for what. Usually in these coverages, you know, you folks know it. We show a lot of tape here on the show. We show a lot of tape in the film room. You follow me on Twitter, you see it. If you just watch the Bills, you see it. These are normally occupied by safeties. So this is normally Micah Hyde or Jordan Poyer. This is normally Micah Hyde or Jordan Poyer. But on this play, you've got Jordan Poyer down here acting almost as a cloud corner. So normally, he and Trey White have flipped. Usually Poyer is here or Hyde is here. They flipped. Who's the deep half player? It's usually a safety. Nope, this time it's a corner. Same thing on the other side. Taron Johnson is usually your man at the slot. He's usually your nickel guy. He's your deep half player up top. So that's fun in and of itself. And then you pair that with, so you've got the kind of inverted piece there. And then you've got Micah Hyde. I'm going to go back a little bit. Micah Hyde right here on the snap. Watch him start to walk down and creep down. This is what I call like that Tampa 2 robber piece. So he's dropping down like a robber would in like a cover 1 robber type of look. But in that Tampa 2, Bills have run it before. Tremaine Edmonds is usually that guy streaking down the middle of the field. Or if you watch the Buccaneers or the Lovie Smith Bears, you'd see Derek Brooks running up the middle of the field for the Bucs. You would see Brian Urlacher running up the middle of the field. Like it's a 2 deep coverage, that Tampa 2, but that linebacker will occupy that middle third. But Hyde is occupying that middle third. But he's doing it from a single high post snap alignment Again, everything here shows man coverage and a single high safety. And just watch how the picture changes. Players start to drop, change. What coverage is coming, we don't know. You get that 2 invert, kind of Tampa 2 robber type look, and Hyde is there. Now, this ends up being a completion for a first down to Devontae Adams in the hole, so it doesn't work, but I like the idea of it. I like the experimentation. I like the change in piece. And honestly, this is a kudos to Jimmy G why this doesn't work. So from this angle, we'll watch things go. Watch Jimmy G hold Micah Hyde and Terrell Bernard with his eyes. So you see Jimmy G, he's looking right here. And watch what it does to Hyde. Watch what it does to Bernard. We go forward. They both, Hyde holds just a little bit. Bernard cuts in because Jimmy G eyes Renfro. Now watch Jimmy G switch his eyes, turns his shoulders. He goes to Devontae. So that's a good job by Jimmy G. I like the coverage. I like to change change. Again, you're just at the basic level, you're changing the pre to post snap picture. Also, again, from another perspective, the Raiders on this one kept 7 in to protect again. Michael Mayer, the tight end, the running back is over here. You can't see him. He's small. He's behind the offensive lineman. So they only sent 3 into the route distribution, which again, heavy numbers advantage for the Bills in coverage. Should have been a win. It wasn't. Guys on the other side of the ball get paid too. They're also professionals. This is a good job from Devontae Adams, finding the soft spots, sitting down. And then Jimmy G manipulating Bernard. Watch when Hyde comes up. Watch how he just sits there, kind of hesitates before he goes out. There it is, right there. He starts to move right here towards Adams, but then he stops because of Jimmy G's eyes and he plants his feet. And that's just enough to let Jimmy G fit that ball in there. So that's a good job from Jimmy G. Again, those guys get paid to play the game too. But a big change in the pre to post snap picture. I'm going to let the play run through again. Not only do you change the pre to post snap picture, you make the Raiders waste 2 guys in pass protection again. Then you have the uniqueness on the back end with this 2 invert / Tampa 2 robber type of coverage. So you're changing who normally does what. You're changing the pre to post snap picture, all these things. It's unfortunate that they got beat on it by a good read from Jimmy G and some good eye manipulation. Again, right here. Holds Hyde just enough. You see it? Holds, hesitates just enough. Bernard bites inside, which again, isn't bad. You're reading the QB's eyes. Jimmy G makes a play. This is a guy who's been successful. He's comfortable with this type of look. Good play from Jimmy G. But a big stock up for me was Sean McDermott changing the pre to post snap picture. Again, we're only in week 2. I hope this starts to continue as we go forward. And these are just the early sprinklings or the planting of seeds for more type of pre to post snap picture chaos, and then potentially tying in with some different blitzes, with some different fronts. A lot of potential fun offshoots and avenues that you can have when you establish this kind of baseline if you are the Buffalo Bills. Another piece I wanted to bring up, that Christian Benford play, the one that was initially ruled pass interference and then ended up not. So here's Christian Benford up here, one-on-one with Trey Tucker, rookie from Cincinnati who can really fly. Saw him on tape when watching for Tyler Scott last year preparing for the draft. Well, this offseason preparing for the draft. But initially, Benford gets beat. I think a lot of you know this play, saw this play. Gets a little beat, but has a nice recovery. And you can see it a little on this angle, but we're going to go to the end zone angle to really confirm it. So again, they throw the flag initially, but ends up being reversed. I want to slow it down and go here. So watch Benford. He recovers, but as he gets and as he recovers and gets on Tucker, he doesn't actually impede Tucker. I think that's why they picked up the flag. So he runs him down. He sees Tucker start to eye the ball. As he gets close, he gets his hands on Tucker, but he does not impede him. And while he doesn't impede him, he also gets his head turned around, gets his hand up. This is a tremendous play by Tucker. It's actually, I feel bad for him, and it's a shame that it wasn't a catch. He goes up, gets it, makes the play on the ball. Even look at this. Like, this is good form. Benford's trying to get his hand and his arm in between the hands and the arm of Trey Tucker. He's trying to break this up. This is textbook. You try to punch through the ball, punch through the hands. Tucker goes up, makes an athletic, explosive play, and then shows good hands and brings the ball down. But then, okay, so you recover, you get your head turned around, you see the ball, you try to punch through the hands, it doesn't work. What do you do now? Push the guy out of bounds. Boom. And he pushes him down with some force too, which is nice to see. this is another angle too. So we have the other end zone angle. This will kind of put it in perspective as well. Again, he could have panicked here. He could have ran right through Trey Tucker and run him over. He could have grabbed him. He could have done a multitude of things that would have drawn the flag, that would have stayed a flag. And you can see it right here. Here he is on the bottom left of your screen. Starts to reach, just gets his hands on him, just to know where he is, to get a feel for him so he can turn and locate the football. He's not grabbing. He's not pulling. He's not pushing. Gets his head turned around. Tucker goes up, high points the football. Benford tries to go for the punch through, doesn't get it. Cool, slams him, puts him out of bounds. Good play from Christian Benford. Good recovery in a play where he could have potentially panicked. He could have freaked out. He could have made a mistake in a multitude of ways, in a multitude of fashions, but he doesn't. He stayed calm, cool, collected, made a play on the ball. Really liked it. Last play that I want to show from the stock up, stock down. I don't know why I closed my screen because there's one more that I wanted to show here, and pretty quick one. It's just amazing. We're gonna show Matt Milano mossing Brandon Jacobs. I'm just gonna go to the end zone angle. Here's Matt Milano. This play is just ridiculous. Like, there's not a ton of analysis that's needed. Like, I just think Matt Milano's stock is way up. Guy was an all-pro last year. Tremaine Edmonds leaves. He gets an interception in week 1 against the Jets that was really a gift thrown right at him. This one he earned. He's making plays in the run game. He's shooting gaps. He's fit in the run. He's banging against Jakob Johnson and acting as a force player in this game against heavy personnel looks for the Raiders. They're the Raiders' 255-pound fullback, Jakob Johnson. He's playing through his outside shoulder and forcing things in. He's showing physicality, burst, intelligence, processing, and then you get the athleticism. Drops out, waiting, sees the ball go to the running back, and here we go. Just jumps over him and rips it away from him. I'll play it in real time just so we can see it. Oh, you're going to dump it down? Okay, cool. Whoop. And that's ridiculous. Truly ridiculous. Let's watch it from this angle. Drops. Oh, it's a shame the field goal post kind of gets in the way there. You can see him start to anticipate it, and then Jimmy G puts it on there. Again, Bills get some pressure, and that's ridiculous. The ball skills, the athleticism, the hand-eye coordination, all of it. I'm just going to play it all from, play it through from the multitude of angles. That's just a hell of a play by Matt Milano. I don't think I've ever seen a linebacker moss a running back. I said it when it happened. I know there's the AJ Hawk play. I hadn't remembered that, but just like in the open field here, like that's just so hard to do. And Milano I'll skip ahead here, just makes it look absolutely effortless. Unreal. Unreal. And then the other end zone angle, just to wrap it up, put a nice, neat little bow on it for all-pro Matty Mo or Matt Milano. Oh, that's a nice little ridiculous. Just ridiculous. Again, the ball skills, the athleticism, the precision, the hand-eye coordination. It's absolutely unreal to be able to pull that off in that situation. Other stock up in this game, the Bills' run game, and by extension, or stock up after this game. The Bills' run game, by extension, Ken Dorsey and Aaron Cromer. The Bills have 29 gap runs on the year as opposed to 11 zone runs, and many of those gap runs have been duo, with some runs having pullers sprinkled in, like Dart, for example. And the downhill nature of those duo runs, plus the track and the read for the running back, it pairs well with the makeup of the offensive line and James Cook's burst, speed, running style, even Latavius Murray and Damian Harris to a degree. You add in the 12 personnel and 13 personnel usage and the play action potential off those looks, and you just have yourself a well-catered run game mixed with a multiplicity that defenses have to account for. The Buffalo Bills are currently 4th in team rushing EPA per attempt. For running back carries only, they're 3rd. It's a small sample size as we're only 2 weeks in, but the James Cook, Latavius Murray, Damian Harris rotation paired with the gap scheme run focus with, again, that heavy emphasis on duo has yielded very positive returns early on. The addition of Osiris Torrance has given the offensive line more physicality and a people-moving presence. The addition of Connor McGovern, his free agent signing, has added plus athleticism versus last year at the left guard spot. And you pair all that again with a significant increase in 12 personnel usage and the potential to utilize more 7-man surfaces with it. And you have a legitimate downhill rushing attack that's capable of gashing defenses whenever they choose to, seemingly at will, especially if slash when defenses choose to match that 12 personnel with nickel. Now, all of a sudden, like I mentioned earlier, you've got nickel corners, outside corners, safeties. They're in the box. They're in these run fits against offensive linemen or tight ends, and tight ends or offensive linemen are climbing to the second level or potential third level against these guys, and you're getting corners who are put in one-on-one situations against James Cook, who can beat them with speed around the corner if they're not precise with their angles, or they got to figure out how to tackle Damian Harris or Latavius Murray. It just puts the defense in disadvantageous matchups while putting the Bills offense in an advantageous matchup situation. Huge stock up for the Buffalo Bills run game. Just overall, conceptually, from a success rate, a multitude of ways. I like some of the blocks that Dalton Kincaid had in this game. He had a real great double team block on a duo run on the Latavius Murray touchdown run with Deion Dawkins. That piece was really nice. So seeing him continue to improve as a run blocker has been nice to see. This run game just building on what they did in the preseason. We're starting to see more success, a rhythm and a routine and something to hang their hat on. And it's a great pivot to have if the weather turns, or always pairing it with an explosive passing offense led by a tremendous quarterback in Josh Allen. So huge stock up for that Bills run game. Also some little stock up pieces. Dalton Kincaid, again, overall as well as a run blocker, but continuing to evolve as a pass catcher. I shouldn't say evolve, just continuing to find success. Finding the spaces in the zone, being able to settle down, read coverages, read the pre to post snap. Again, another game where he showed some physicality against defensive backs when he turned into a ball carrier after he made the catch, watching him run over nickels and safeties, using that size and athleticism together to be a mismatch when he has the ball in his hands. Real nice piece from him. I think Gabe Davis's stock is up. I tweeted it out earlier. I don't remember the exact piece. There's about 150 qualifying receivers, running backs, and tight ends who have at least 5 targets on the year. Gabe Davis is 19th in EPA per target. So he had a nice improvement in this game. Several really good reps for him, pairing with Josh Allen, finding space, being able to break down and get open and create separation. Nice to see him not be hampered by that ankle injury that he had last year, early in the year, that carried throughout the majority of the year. So I think his stock up is up as well. But for me, the big one, Sean McDermott, being able to change the pre to post snap picture. Matt Milano, I think Benford's stock is up / kind of holding, but the big one is that run game. Myself and Eric Turner are going to dive into the Buffalo Bills run game, along with a lot of other schematic components from the offense and some from the defense, in tomorrow night's Cover One Film Room, live at 7 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday, September 20th. So tune into that tomorrow night if you're watching live now, or if you're watching this later in the week, go back to the Cover One channel and find that.